All right, hello everybody. My name is Sergeant Clark. I am an Army recruiter here in Las Vegas and Henderson. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about lies that recruiters will tell you. Okay, so all the things that I'm going to cover today, I got all directly off the internet, articles or other videos that were posted by people, and just common lies that supposedly recruiters like myself are going to tell you. So one interesting thing, this is the first video I believe that will be made that's by an actual recruiter still on recruiting detail. So that's interesting. One thing also is that this is going to be more of an emphasis on Army, as I can't speak for other recruiting branches. And one of the most interesting things that I found here was that almost all these lies that people are supposedly being told by recruiters, a lot of it just comes down to selective hearing by the actual applicant. For perfect instances, we had a young lady in here a couple months ago. She was a future soldier. A future soldier is somebody who has enlisted into the Army but has not shipped yet. And we were going over a contract the week before she did ship out, and she was confused as to her contract length. And for various reasons, she had to change her contract length. She chose a job not with her typical recruiter, but with her guidance counselor at the last minute. And she was unaware of how long her contract was. And when we went over it with her and her mother accused us of bait and switch, which was absolutely ridiculous. This was a simple case of I knew the applicant, I knew the future soldier, and for lack of a better word, she was dumb. Okay. She did not pay attention when the guidance counselor was explaining this to her. Anybody who had a conversation with her would know this. She just did not pay attention to anything. She would ask me a question right after I told her the answer to it. Okay, so she just wasn't paying attention. So this is selective hearing. Pay attention to what your recruiter is telling you, and you're gonna understand that a lot of this, no recruiter has ever lied to you a lot about this stuff. It's just you not paying attention. Okay, so first things first, a lot of people complain that, oh, my recruiter told me that I wouldn't deploy, right? Deploying is when you get deployed into a combat when you go to war. This is completely false. I don't know who is telling you this. I understand that this is an issue probably like 10 years ago or so. But I mean, as far as today goes, I have never told an applicant that they would not deploy. If you're considering joining the Army, whether you deploy or not, you should always know that you are joining the Army. The Army's job is to deploy soldiers, boots on ground. That's what our job is. So I don't know who lied to you about this. It is really just completely surprising to me. You should always go in 100% expecting to deploy. Okay. You can quit at any time. Again, I don't know who told anybody this. You cannot quit at any time. If you're signing a contract. Once you actually sign the contract and you shift out to basic training, then your contract is started. You can't just put up your hand, oh, I quit, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to go home. You sign a contract, you made a commitment, and you have to honor that. So again, you cannot quit. They don't yell at you when you go to basic training. When you go basic training, which is boot camp, when you go to AIT, which is your job training, there's going to be drill sergeants there, and they're going to yell at you. Again, I've never told any applicant this. I don't know why you would think that they wouldn't yell at you. I mean, it's common sense, and anybody who's ever seen a movie knows that they yell at you. So this is a big one here. A lot of people think that we get compensated, right? That we work on a commission. We do not work on commission. My paycheck stays the same regardless if I put one person in the Army or I put 100 people in the Army. I don't make a penny more, I don't make a penny less. So that's ridiculous. And then a big thing is that we have quotas that are enforced. It's absolutely true that we do have a quota. We're expected to match that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if we make it or we don't make it. If I put 100 people in the Army, guess what? My boss comes in and gives me a pat on the back. Good job. Now go get some more people. If I put 0 in the Army, he gives me a 5-second lecture about trying harder. Okay, go make some more phone calls. That's it. It's not the end of the world if you don't put somebody in. So I mean, again, it's very simple. Contract length. So apparently a lot of people have been lied to about how long their contract is. I know for me personally and everyone in my office, we always make sure to address that. Is any contract that you're signing an 8-year contract. That's Army, and that's also any military branch. It's called an MSO, which is a military service obligation. Now, how you spend that 8 years is completely up to you. You know, whether you do it reserves, you do 3 years active, and then 5 years IR, whatever. But I mean, I always make an emphasis of pointing that out to people. Your duty stations are guaranteed. This is not true whatsoever. In the Army, we give you what we call a wish list. And I always tell my applicants exactly this, that your wish list probably isn't going to be granted. Your first duty station is pretty much needs of the Army. Is where they need you. This is where they're going to send you. So again, I don't know who's lying about that. This is a good one. If you don't ship, that you're going to go to jail. This is completely untrue. If you say you sign a contract and you haven't shipped yet, you're a future soldier, you're in the debt pool, then all of a sudden you change your mind, you no longer want to ship. Then guess what? You just sign a form and that's it. It doesn't go on your permanent record. You're not going to jail. Nothing like that happens. So, I mean, I can understand why some recruiters probably don't emphasize this one, just because we put in a lot of work. And then all of a sudden for some person just to change their mind. It's very frustrating on our end, so I understand why people don't advertise that, but at the end of the day, nothing happens to you. You're not going to jail or anything negative. Your job isn't guaranteed. This itself is also, this right here is a lie because this is again in the Army, but in the Army your job is guaranteed. You cannot sign a contract without having a job in that contract. So you know your job before you ship. And your job can't change. The only way you're not going to have the same job is when you get to AIT, which is your job training. And if you fail out 3 times, then yes, the Army will choose a different job for you that they deem is less academically challenging. Again, that's rare though. But I mean, your job is guaranteed in the Army. It's one of the best reasons to join the Army is because your job is guaranteed. So I mean, that's the bulk of the lies that a lot of people believe recruiters are telling them. The best thing you can possibly do if you have a conversation with a recruiter, including myself, is fact check. You can Google all of these answers and find out the truth. One interesting thing I found about pretty much all the videos that are online now about recruiters lying is it's either by people who have never served before, or the videos are by young soldiers in their first contract, or by soldiers who did one contract and got out. So a lot of them, maybe the Army or the military in general just wasn't the right decision for them. And instead of just doing, their 3-year contract, whatever it is, and then just getting out, they're making all these videos and complaining about all these little things and everything like that. And the military lifestyle is tough. So you just gotta kind of suck that up. That's a very, very small pool. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people going out there and making pro videos. There's nobody, anybody who's in the Army and loving their lifestyle isn't going to go make a video and tell you about how great the military is, because there's a lot of videos like that already out there. So this just kind of sums everything up. Again, my name is Staff Sergeant Clark. I'm a recruiter in Henderson. Our address is 1331 West Warm Springs Road, and my cell phone number is 702-245-3649. Thanks.